Hi guy, I wanted to kick off another discussion video. This is the second one now, probably getting a bit sick of them. Before anyone wonders, that's not actually Shenmue 2 playing in the background. Hang on. I'll leave that running whilst I'm talking. That's me playing a dodgy copy because I've been trying to get my hands on an original, and the price, you know, it's £50–60 at the moment on eBay. It's just insane for what was a really common game. I mean, even at the time it wasn't super rare. So yeah, I've had to resort to doing a download just so I could have a complete playthrough. But yeah, that's not the point. What I really wanted to talk about was game difficulty and just how I think it's changed over the years, and probably what other people's opinions of it is. I mean, just take last week I completed, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week I completed a game called Brutal Legend on the Xbox 360. I found it really easy to get through, even on the normal setting. If I got to a point where I was really stuck, I could just go straight to the options, drop it down to easy, play through that section and then drop it back to normal, and vice versa with hard. And I'm starting to find that the more and more new games I play on my 360 or my Xbox, sorry, on my PS3, I'm finding like an average game time takes around 10 to 15 hours. I mean, even when I'm playing the odd RPG now, at a push you're looking at 20 hours usually just to get through. And I go back to some of my older games, like especially with the RPGs and like the SNES or the Mega Drive. You're looking at 30, 40, maybe even 50 hours. And I even recently did a playthrough of the entire Baldur's Gate series on PC, and that was no easy achievement. But the first one with its expansion packs probably coming in at about 110 to 120 hours gameplay time. I don't know where all that time came from and went to either. But it was just interesting, like such an old game had so much going for it and so much time was required, but the closest game I could think of in modern times that I played recently to that amount of time needed was another RPG, which was Tales of Vesperia, possibly Valkyrie Chronicles on the PS3. But even then, you know, the games were not taxing. They were just at best time sinks. You know, you'd sit down and you play for an hour to 2 hours leveling up or something, like your standard RPG, but it wasn't taxing to any degree. I suppose the same goes with things like Halo as well. You go back about 10 to 15 years when you're playing stuff like Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time, that's a good example I think, or the F-Zero games on the SNES. The Castlevania titles, even, you know, they were quite difficult, and you could spend absolute ages trying to get through them. And these were like main selling games for the system at the time. It wasn't like they were created by a third party and just shuffled off to the side somewhere. But it really frightened me today how games are so expensive. You know, 30 to 40 pounds at a time. Again, similar price to what they were back in the NES and SNES and Mega Drive eras or whatever, but the time you can spend with each of them is just dropping and dropping. I mean, a good example is the Metal Gear Solid series. I mean, on the first one, if you take your time with it, you can get through it probably in about 20 hours. Now on the fourth one, which was on the PS3, I mean, I was able to get through that in about, I think it was 8, maybe 9 hours, and I wasn't rushing to get through that. I just think it's basically the game time is practically half, and so was the difficulty, because I thought the first one was much more difficult than the fourth. Which is quite funny because you actually go back to the first one in the fourth. Anyway, the fact is, you know, what do you guys think about game difficulty these days? I mean, personally to me, it annoys me how I can pick up a 40 to 50 pound game even sometimes. Sit down on a Friday evening, blast through it in a weekend, and then want to trade it or get rid on the Monday. I mean, I could think back to the cartridge days. You know, you would buy cartridges. Granted, you'd be a kid at the time, but you'd sit down there and you'd play it for week after week, month after month, on some occasions, because you just couldn't afford to do the trades. But you would get a good life out of them. There'd be replayability, but there just doesn't seem to be that these days. And I'm not sure if that's just down to poor design or just the lowering difficulty of games in general. Another thing that comes to mind is that a lot of kids games that are released these days are really easy just for the kids that are playing them. And I always sit there and think to myself, well, when I was a kid, when I was playing NES or Master System games or stuff on the Spectrum, things like that, the difficulty was like through the roof. You know, and you would make them last because of it. You know, you get frustrated and so on. You'd have to replay sections over and over. But you know, you'd appreciate the games more as and when you had them. There wasn't this need to constantly go out and keep buying more and more games. And it always makes me wonder, it's like, why are they making games so easy just for kids? Because at the end of the day, you know, these kids grow up into teenagers and adults and so on, and so why do they need this weird learning curve of everything to be so easy at the bottom level, and all of a sudden they become an adult and then they're expected to play rock hard games? Except that isn't happening anymore, because they're bringing the complete easiness at the kiddie level seem to be seeping its way into the more adult games. You know, as the difficulty disappears. I mean, even Nintendo with the Wii are guilty of it at the moment. As I think one of the new Mario games that has been announced has got a mode where you just flick a button and the the console will play through that section for you, right? Complete it for you, and then you press another button and then it drops you back into the game. And I'm just like, my mind is just like, whoa, what, you know, what's going on here? It's just a step too far. I mean, I suppose casual gamers are great for earning money, but for the rest of us, you know, it sucks. Anyway, guys, I don't want to ramble on too long, but yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on that. What direction do you think the industry is going when it comes to difficulty? I mean, do you agree with it? Do you like being able to play through games in such a short time, or are you a bit like me? You prefer them to last, get your money's worth, and then before you move on to something else? Yeah. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll do my best to post another video soon.